Hello, everyone, and welcome to our UA24 webinar series, or welcome back if you've been joining us this spring semester. I am Allison Beasley, and I am our coordinator of parent and family programs here at the University of Alabama. We are excited that you can join us for our talk with the Office of Disability Services about how parents and family members can help their students transition to the University of Alabama from high school, and how disability services can best aid in that transition, and what resources are available to your family and specifically for your student. Without further ado, I will turn it over to Vanessa and Brittany from our Office of Disability Services.
Thank you for watching this presentation on supporting students with disabilities in the college transition process. Representing the Office of Disability Services, I am Vanessa Gopel, the Director of the Office of Disability Services.
And I am Brittany Gregg, the Assistant Director of the Office of Disability Services. An alternate version of this presentation is available if you are interested in accessing the hyperlinks embedded throughout.
The Office of Disability Services, or ODS, provides academic accommodations to University of Alabama students. We are located in Hauser Hall, room 1000. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 4:45 p.m. Our services and resources are offered free of charge to students. You may contact our front desk by calling 205-348-4285 or emailing ods@ua.edu. We also have information available on our website at www.ods.ua.edu. The Americans with Disabilities Act defines disability as a physical or mental impairment which substantially limits one or more major life activities. ODS can offer accommodations for a variety of disabilities, including cognitive disorders such as ADHD, learning disorders, and traumatic brain injury, psychological disorders such as anxiety, depression, and autism spectrum disorders, sensory or mobility impairments, and any medical condition that may be impacting the student academically, temporary impairments resulting from injury or surgery for which accommodations may be needed.
Accommodations are determined on a case-by-case basis according to the impact of the student's condition. Some commonly requested accommodations include testing accommodations, such as extended testing time, reduced distraction environments, or use of technology for assistance with reading and writing during exams. The ODS Testing Center is available as a convenience location to support students and instructors with testing accommodations. We also offer note-taking assistance through audio recording of lectures, use of a smart pen or other technology, communication access real-time transcription, closed-captioned videos, and sign language interpreting are available for students who are deaf or hard of hearing. We also provide accessible materials such as alternate format textbooks or document conversion. ODS has an assistive technology specialist on staff who can provide support for the use of screen readers, smart pens, and technology applications that are available to students, such as UA Box, Text Help, Zoom Text, and others. ODS also provides priority registration to allow students to register for classes early in order to account for any disability-related course scheduling needs.
ODS offers opportunities for students and their families to visit and ask questions. If you are planning a visit to the UA campus through the Office of Admissions as a prospective student, you may request to meet with ODS as part of your visit. We also host an optional open house during Bama Bound orientation sessions. Once you have registered for a Bama Bound session, you may contact our office to obtain the open house schedule. Once your student has been accepted to the university and commits to attend, it is appropriate to begin the process of officially requesting accommodations. We recommend sharing our documentation requirements with your student's evaluator or treating physician. Documentation should be submitted corresponding to each diagnosis for which a student requests accommodations. Documentation will be reviewed by an accommodations specialist, and the student will be notified if additional documentation is needed. Any documentation received by ODS will be acknowledged via email to the student's MyBama account. Once a student has received this acknowledgement, he or she should call our front desk to schedule an appointment with their accommodations specialist to discuss the impact of their disability and the accommodations they wish to request. The accommodations specialist will review relevant policies and procedures, student rights and responsibilities, and the process for requesting accommodations each semester. Appointments are scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis, and staff calendars do fill up quickly at the start of a new semester. Therefore, it is recommended that students schedule appointments well in advance of the first day of classes. For example, a student who is starting UA in the fall semester is advised to call during the month of June to schedule an appointment. It is the student's responsibility to request accommodations each semester and meet with instructors during their office hours or by appointment to discuss how each accommodation will be implemented in the course. If students have questions or concerns at any point during the process, they should contact their accommodation specialist for assistance.
ODS treats all student information as confidential. So a student's diagnosis or approval for accommodations is never shared with others on campus, nor will this information appear on the student's transcript or diploma. Students are responsible for self-disclosing accommodations to instructors, so it is always the student's decision to share information regarding their accommodations. Legally, instructors do not have a right to know information regarding a student's diagnosis. While students are given the opportunity to sign a FERPA release applying to their educational record with the university, any information related to a student's disability or accommodations is held separately from the educational record, and therefore the university's FERPA release does not apply to ODS. Students who wish to give permission for ODS to communicate with parents, instructors, or staff may do so. It is important for parents to understand that students are considered to be adults once they enter the post-secondary environment, and therefore the onus for requesting and arranging accommodations and communicating with ODS rests solely with the student. Even if students consent for ODS to communicate with parents, it is required that students communicate directly with ODS rather than abdicating this responsibility to parents or family members.
While ODS assists students with academic accommodations, we do recognize there are a variety of other needs or interests a student may have during their time at UA, so we'll discuss some of those here. Students who need to request housing accommodations, such as an accessible residence hall or single room due to medical needs, should contact Housing and Residential Communities to discuss options. Students who have food allergies or other dietary needs should contact the Dining Services Coordinator for Bama Dining. Students who have questions about purchasing an accessible parking permit or transportation assistance offered through the Crimson Ride should contact Parking Services. Questions regarding scholarships for students with disabilities or financial aid can be directed to Student Financial Aid. You may also wish to contact your state's vocational rehabilitation program through the Department of Rehabilitation Services.
ODS does not provide products or services of a personal nature, such as mobility devices, technology hardware or software, tutoring, or personal aids. Also, our staff does not conduct learning or diagnostic evaluations or assessments. However, there are several campus resources which may be helpful to students, and we have included those on this slide for your reference. Examples include academic resources such as the Center for Academic Success and the Writing Center. Other services include the Student Health Center and Pharmacy, as well as the Counseling Center. Again, an alternate version of this presentation is available if you would like to reference the links on this slide. Academic advising is an additional resource available to all students. ODS is unable to provide guidance regarding course or instructor choice, so the academic advisor in the department of the student's major serves as the resource for these types of questions. Students will meet with an academic advisor during BAMA-bound orientation and must schedule an appointment with their advisor at the beginning of each semester to discuss course selection.
There are several things parents and family members can do to help students transition to the college setting. Parents can improve the likelihood for student success in college by discussing and determining reasonable expectations. There are many differences in the material, pace, and level of independence once students graduate from high school and leave the parents' home. In high school, classes tend to be concurrent and in close proximity to one another. Classes are often small with a low student-to-teacher ratio. Classes tend to be more interactive. Graded material is offered more frequently and tends to be non-cumulative. Conversely, college courses meet less, usually 2 to 3 times weekly, so the outside of classwork is more extensive. Class sizes are much larger at the University of Alabama, sometimes as large as 300 students per lecture course. Classes are often lecture-based, which may be a struggle for certain learning styles. There may be fewer tests and grades, which means the individual stakes are higher for a single assignment.
During the transition from high school to college, it is also valuable for parents and students to understand the rights and responsibilities outlined in disability law. In high school or the secondary setting, the intent of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, is to provide a free, appropriate public education to students with disabilities in the least restrictive environment. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act also applies to ensure program access for students with disabilities. The school district is responsible for identifying, evaluating, and planning educational services for the student, and is also responsible for providing special instruction, individualized education plans, or IEPs, and accommodations. Because students are entitled to receive a public education, the application of the law focuses on the student's success. In the post-secondary setting, Section 504 continues to apply with regard to program access for students with disabilities, but IDEA no longer applies. Instead, the Americans with Disabilities Act requires that students have a documented disability and be otherwise qualified for admission and participation in the program. Students must self-identify as an individual with a disability and initiate a request for accommodation. The application of the law in the post-secondary setting focuses on equal access for students.
A successful college student is someone who knows how to manage their most critical resource, time. Here are some helpful tips that parents can share with their students. Number 1, make a to-do list. Put the most important tasks at the top, even if they're things you're dreading, and tackle them first. Include things you want to do on your list too, so you have items you're looking forward to. Try motivating yourself with a reward if you get to everything on your list. Number 2, keep your work with you. That way, if you find yourself with extra time, you can get something done. Number 3, don't be afraid to say no. It's okay to say no if your friend asks you to go to a movie one night, but you have a test the next morning. Number 4, find your productive time. Are you a morning person or a night person? You'll be more efficient if you work when you're at your best. Number 5, create a dedicated study time. Set up a time devoted only to studying or homework. Shut off your phone and respond to calls or texts when your work is finished. Don't check email or surf the web during this time either, unless it is necessary for the work you're doing. Number 6, get a good night's sleep. Your brain needs rest to perform at its peak. If it's time to sleep, list the things you still need to get done on the next day's to-do list and go to bed. In some cases, students benefit from a more supportive approach to time management and organizational skills, such as academic coaching or similar services. While ODS does not provide academic coaching, there are UA and community resources available.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation. If you have any questions about the information we've presented, please contact us. We look forward to working with your student during their time at the University of Alabama.
Wow, that was such great information. Thank you so much, Brittany and Vanessa. We really hope that this presentation has been helpful for parents and family members who would like to help their student access the resources that Disability Services has to offer. We know that there may be lots of questions that you still have. We've left the contact information for ODS up on the screen. They are great campus partners, and we would love for you to reach out to them with any questions you may have. As always, you can reach out to Parent and Family Programs with any questions that you may have. Our email address is parents@ua.edu. And our phone number is 1-800-392-2777. Right now, if you leave us a voicemail, we will get back with you via email. So please be sure to leave your email address. And we look forward to having your student join us at the University of Alabama Family. Thanks, and roll Tide.